Hi again. Just another quick video update on the Orion. In the last one, I was explaining about thinning out the plastic on the back of these turbine parts in the engines that leaves them so that I can light the engines, and I've also cut this part out here. So what I've done, I've constructed just a couple of little engine lighting parts. These are these parts you can see here are oil drums, 1/35th scale oil drums. I think the Tamiya ones, I think. And what I've done, I've drilled through the side and I've just put 4 blue LEDs all pointing in on each other, and it's painted silver inside. You can probably get a better view of it there. The idea being that because they're pointing sort of sideways rather than directly at the turbines, you won't get those hot spots off the lights. I'm just after this kind of even blue glow. So if I connect that up to a battery there, you can see that they don't look particularly bright on the camera, but they're giving off quite a decent blue glow. And I've got these offcuts of backlight film. I think these are off the Aries set from Paragraphics. It's just a bit of the border of the sheet. And if I put them over there, and I'll bring that closer to the camera, you can probably see that you get this kind of nice blue glow. Now obviously I'm going to cut a circle out of this and insert it in there, and then these will fit on the back of here, and they'll glue on the back, and that's the engines lit. I'm going to spray this black first, this part, just so I don't get any paint inside the lights, and then I'll put these in before the tail gets assembled. So it's just a simple addition, really. I'm going to do something similar for the interior and for the cockpit. The other thing I've done, a little bit more progress here. I mentioned before about I wasn't too happy about this very sort of heavy detail on the paneling on the fuselage and the wings. Let's move that light slightly. I might get a better light on it there. So basically, I've completely removed it off one side, or most of it anyway, and I've replaced it with thin styrene. So I'm using one as the guide for the other, because most of it is symmetrical. So these are just thin bits of evergreen, various widths. They're all the same thickness, and I've just replaced it like for like. I've left a couple of the parts on that didn't seem too heavy, this panel here, and I've left this detail here. I've also left this part here. Again, it wasn't overly heavy, this, but I've still got a few bits to replace here and on the nose there. I'll repeat it on the opposite side once I've finished this bit. As I say, strangely, the tail parts, it's much finer detail on the tail part, so I'm going to leave that as it is. And I'm also going to do the paneling on the wings. And this has just been glued on. I'm leaving this to dry, and then I'll just give it a very, very light sand, just take any burrs off the edge of the sheets where it's been cut. But it is much improved, and I think under a couple of coats of paint, it looks so much better. Particularly this part here, where the under the cockpit there, it just looks way too heavy on the original part. I'm not sure what to do with these vents yet. I know that they appear to be slightly the wrong shape. I think they've been made that shape simply for ease of moulding. And what I may do is cut the back out of it. You can see on the back there's a section there. I might cut that away and reshape these slightly, and then put a panel in the back again to fill it in. I think also they do give you decals for some that appear somewhere on the tail here, which I think should be cut into it instead. So I could use those as templates to cut them out. Whether the aftermarket are going to provide anything like that, I don't know. But I think for what I'm doing with this, and I'm not really worried too much about the interior, I'm going to go with it as is and put it together. One other thing I may do is in the nose section here, I might add a small grill to that. Don't know whether it was on the original miniature, but it just adds a tiny little bit of detail. Once this is glued together, I'll just insert a fine bit of mesh into there, and it'll just pick some detail out in there. But overall, I mean, it's going together quite well. So I think the next thing is move on to the lighting for here. I'm still waiting for the HCA decals to turn up. They're in the post somewhere, but they're stuck somewhere between Chicago and London, I think. So I'll wait for those to arrive, and because I've got a feeling they give you some screens for these interior screens in the passenger compartment. So I'll have a look at that. I know they give you the blank screens for the backs of the seats for all the for the monitors in the back of the seats. So I'll see what that is, and again, it's going to be very simple because you won't see much through the windows, but just to add a bit of interest. So I'll get this tail built and the lights fitted, and then I'll post another video of the progress as I go on. Okay.